What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to break down what's happening with the economic calendar moving forward and talk about some key levels. But just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire community as a whole. Anyways, so as far as the market's going, we're getting a lot of bad news this morning. It's causing the market to dip. And as a result, this is slowing SPY down. So if we lose some key levels, this will continue to dump, unfortunately. And we have this large head and shoulders that could still pan out. So the question is, what's happening so far? If you look at Tesla, for example, there's news about how this Dutch pension fund sold about $585 million worth of Tesla shares because of the fact that they're not really happy about Elon Musk's pay plan and working conditions in the company that they claim. They didn't really go into specific detail, but that is what they claim according to reports from different sources from Bloomberg and many others out there. But just know that that's a really, really large stake. $500 million worth of Tesla being sold is not good news. Nvidia is also saying that they're criticizing the new efforts of policy restriction in their opinion. They're saying that mainstream computing applications around the world are going to see restricted access with the new AI diffusion rules that are coming out. Not going to go into the specific details about that. I just want to say that that's not the best of news for them. The share price is down 3% as a result of that. There's also news that this is affecting other companies like Apple. So, all this bad news started coming out this morning, unfortunately. And I just want to say that today's Monday, January 13th at 11:30 a.m. We have the 3 and 6 month bill auctions coming out. This may cause a little bit more volatility, but like I said before, the market's still in the critical place. And then for earnings, things get a lot more serious on Wednesday and Thursday. So on Wednesday, we have the big bank earnings starting from JP Morgan, Citi, BlackRock, and many more like Wells Fargo. And then for others out there, we have even more coming out for Thursday. This is going to be another big catalyst that's going to be moving this market. So we'll see how things go. Don't forget that also on Wednesday, we have like CPI coming out the same day. So I think starting Wednesday, the market's going to see a lot of volatility, especially as we get close to this next CPI report. That's going to be very important for the way that the Fed kind of looks at things. Now, the problem with the market right now is the fact that we're continuing to see yields going up. Why is this a problem? It's because of the fact that there's anticipation of another increase in inflation, and the Fed has to do what they have to do to continue to monitor the situation. If we get a decent CPI, maybe that could help yields cool off a bit, and that could help with the broader markets. But if we don't get that, it's not going to be the best of news, and that could still have a negative effect on the way things are moving. So just want to put that out there for the markets. We're seeing tech slowing down as the 10 years continuing to climb because of some fears involving the Fed. Like I said before, big bank earnings coming out for Wednesday and Thursday. And I didn't see anything else that was too crazy on the news. There's going to be a lot of talk involving TikTok from the Supreme Court. They're going to be looking to see if they're going to uphold the ban that could be coming or not. Besides that, like I said, there's nothing else that's too crazy. Let's just focus on the charts from this point on. So, what do I see for SPY? Like I said before, we have this head and shoulders like pattern. In my video yesterday, I was hoping we would try to rebound first before we continue to see a dip. Instead, we didn't even get a rebound. We're just dipping from this point on. So with that being said, there's a left shoulder, the head, and then the right shoulder. If SPY could break structure right here, it's very simple. If we can manage to get back above 578, we're looking for a push to 580 to fill that gap, and then above that in a bullish case. In a bearish case, if we can't hold above 577, so this low right here, if we can't get back above that, we're going to be favoring 575. And if that fails us, I'm looking for this previous resistance becoming support at 573.5-ish, very close to that area. And if that fails us, we're dumping all the way down closer to 570 flat or below. So watch those supports. Because of this head and shoulders and because of a lot of weakness in tech right now, this may drag SPY lower all the way down towards at least 575. If that fails us, I'm looking for 573.5 or below. So just keep that in mind. For ES, we are also in a very similar state. So we also have this left shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder. And then you guys can see we lost structure right over here at 58.80. Because that's failing us, this is once again looking weaker. We need to try to get back above 58.50 at the very least. Otherwise, we favor a move closer to 5,800 flat. And if that fails us, we could continue to fall. That's going to be the next main support. Look for a test of 5,800 flat. We got to hold this. Otherwise, we could be dipping all the way down towards much lower levels, such as like 50, the 57.80 area or below. So I think that we could see a little pop and drop, but then we might be looking for the 5,800 area, and we'll have to see if that holds or not. It's critical support. Otherwise, this could be tipping a little bit more. Nvidia got some bad news involving policy and also a price downgrade from many different analysts. So as a result, the share price is coming down. If we hypothetically get back above 133, I'm looking for that gap fill for 135. And if we can't get hold above 133 at the very least, this is going to be favoring downside. We also have this big gap down here to fill around 127.5. So watch 130. If it doesn't hold, we're looking for 127.5 or below. If it holds above 130, it could attempt a rebound. But for now, it's looking a little bit weaker. So look at 130. If it doesn't hold, I'm looking for 127.5. Bitcoin's looking a little bit weaker, making lower highs right here. We want to see it get back above 93,800 to bounce. Otherwise, it favors 90,000 flat. If that fails us, we could be dipping to about 89,000 or below. So just keep that in mind. For other stocks like Tesla, so we had this support since October, right? If you go back to the share price like this, there's a support here, bounced and bounced over and over again off this support. For the first time since October, we're losing this support right here where this trend line is. We're losing this because Tesla got a lot of bad news from the pension fund selling. There's also news about a recall involving 239,000 vehicles. However, it's not your conventional recall. Tesla will fix the issues involving the rear view camera with a software update, most likely. So it's not your typical recall. The media just likes to say that, but that's just more bad news for the share price. So if it manages to reclaim, 387, we're looking for a bounce for 393. If we can't get back above 387, this will continue to fall for 380. If that doesn't hold, I think we could be dipping for about 374. So just be careful. There's 374, then 370, below 380. If that fails, those are going to be your supports to watch for. For a few more, we have NQ, which is technically on a downtrend. We're making lower highs and lower lows. We'll have to see if we can reclaim 21,000 or not. Otherwise, this will just continue to fall. So we're looking for essentially a test of 21,700. If that fails us, we could continue to fall back down to this previous resistance, becoming support at 20,500. So we got to reclaim 21,000. Otherwise, we're at risk of 20,500. On the QQQ, there's a bit of a downtrend right here. I want to see it get back above 507. If we can't reclaim at least 507, this is the structure that we started to break. We saw a back test of this in rejection, and this is going to be at risk of falling even lower. So I think 500 is going to be our key support. If that does not hold, we could be dipping all the way down closer to about 495. So just keep that in mind. There's still that risk of downside if that fails us. For Apple, we're on a bit of a downtrend. We need to try to get back above at least 230, 235 to get back up to at least 237. If we can't hold above 235, there's going to be a risk of us falling all the way down towards the very low 230s. So like right here, we have previous resistance becoming support around 230. We could be on our way all the way down there if that fails. So just keep that in mind. For a couple more tickers, we have the Russell, which is looking weaker. It needs to get back above this 214.5 area to push for 216. We can't hold above that. It could be dipping back down to about 212. So just keep that in mind. For AMD, we're on a bit of a downtrend. We have to try to hold above these key supports. Watch 114. If that fails us, we're looking for a dip to about 112 or below. For coin, we're on a bit of a downtrend, making lower highs so far. We're going to be watching some key levels. If this doesn't hold 247, we're looking for a dip closer to about the low 240s. For Amazon, we have a range right here. So this is going to continue to fall to about 215, if not 214.5. So watch that very closely. On Meta, we're on a bit of a downtrend. We have to be watching the 608 area. If that fails us, we could be dipping for about 604. Microsoft's on a bit of a downtrend. We have to try to break past 417 to fill the gap for 418. If that doesn't hold us, we could be dipping all the way down to about 414 or below. So keep that in mind. And then for Google, there's a wick forming here, but it's not doing the best of jobs at holding up. If we break past 192, we're looking for an attempt to get back up to about the 193.5 area. If we don't hold above that, we could just continue to reject and start dipping to 190 or below. So just keep that in mind as well. So that being said, we're seeing a lot of weakness on the charts, at least thus far. Unfortunately, we're getting a lot of bad news, and we were not able to hold the supports we called out yesterday. So these charts still favor the downside. The head and shoulders is going to most likely play out from this point on. For SPY, we're losing structure, so be prepared for some downside. This could change depending on CPI and big bank earnings by Wednesday. So for now, we just have to kind of deal with this, and we'll have to see what happens from this point on. With that being said, I thank you all so much for listening. Have a good rest of your day. I'll be back in hopefully a couple of hours for another update. Until then, I thank you for listening, guys. Stay safe out there and peace out.